Okay, so we are on this topic regarding emerging technologies. So far covered quite a few, but there are still quite a few remaining. So we're taking all these one at a time and talking in detail about what they are. So in this context, our next topic, our next emerging technology that we have to discuss is biometrics. A very important piece of technology that has been around for quite some time. Again, not a kind of a technology which is new to the world, has been around for years. But again, a kind of a technology where there has been constant improvement going on and things are becoming better. The usage is becoming more widespread. People are getting more used to it. All right. And of course, initially it used to be restricted to only a few, it had its restrictions to begin with, but now, it has become more wide scale, more diversified, and people are getting more used to understanding what biometrics is all about. So what is it actually exactly to begin with? It's a method of authenticating individuals. जब हम authenticate करते हैं ना, जैसे जब हम ourselves, and we are trying to authenticate ourselves by telling the system that, okay, we are a genuine user or an authentic user, and whosoever it is who is accessing the system or any other application, whatever it may be, you are a legitimate user so you should be allowed to use it, or you should be allowed to enter, or whatever. So biometrics is again a method used to authenticate or identify individuals, but this is a very different method. Different in the sense that biometrics makes use of some sort of a physical characteristic of an individual, or even these days it is even behavioral or gestural kind of a data which the system can take or it can sense when it comes to identifying you. So something that started off with only a thumb scan, just a thumb scan, because your thumb scan is also profiling of a physical characteristic about you. और हमें पता है ना कि fingerprints हर एक इंसान के दुनिया के अंदर different हैं. No two people have the same fingerprints. All right, so unique identification. So earlier on, something that started off only as a thumb recognition got converted into scanning multiple fingers of the same hand. जैसे thumb के साथ index finger भी आ गई, फिर एक आधी finger और भी आ गई, to using fingers of both hands, the index fingers, the thumbs and all, to scan of the entire palm, scanning of the retina and eye, all right, to face recognition. So we could see that the horizon has widened, and the physical characteristics of an individual that are being used to authenticate them, there's more diversity in that now. All right, so this is what biometrics is all about. So the book has some good content on it. We can have a look at it as well. But I would say that I have more detail on it in my notes. So I'm going to refer to my notes for doing this topic. You can always go over what's given in the book as well, whenever you find time, which I think you should be able to find very soon. Okay, let me just stop the sharing for a bit and open up my notes. If at any point, like always, while I explain, if there's anything that is not clear or anything that you would like to add of your own or contribute, you can always let me know by raising your hand, and I'll give you an opportunity to speak. Okay, so as per the definition goes, let's have a look at it. It says, Biometric authentication uses physical or behavioral human characteristics to digitally identify a person to grant access to systems, devices, or data. Examples of these biometric identifiers are fingerprints, facial patterns, voice, or typing. Many of us do not understand that voice recognition and speech recognition is actually also part of biometrics. Because if a system identifies you through the tone of your voice, in case of a voice recognition system, it's a physical profile of yours, or it's part of your physical profile, or a physical characteristic. Each of these identifiers is considered unique to the individual, and they may be used in combination to ensure greater accuracy of identification. They may be used in combination. Okay, so these days, it is not only a case of one specific part of your physical being used as a characteristic to identify yourself, but maybe it could be a case of multiple characteristics. Like just a while ago, I was giving you this example of, the fingerprint scan. Now, going into a region where a single thumb scan is not enough, and it is a combination of thumbs of both hands and maybe even the index fingers, just makes the whole thing, more foolproof. Yeah, because it will become more difficult. So the more physical characteristics being used in identification, the more foolproof the system becomes, which will become difficult to fake or difficult to forge. Okay. Because biometrics can provide a reasonable level of confidence in authenticating a person with less friction for the user, it has the potential to dramatically improve enterprise security. Enterprise security, as in at the workplace, at the professional level, where offices, organizations, companies would like to make sure that they develop a more foolproof system of identification for their employees. Even at the enterprise level or at a larger scale, this can really serve very well. Computers and devices can unlock automatically when they detect the fingerprints of an approved user. Server room doors can swing open when they recognize the faces of trusted system administrators. Help desk systems might automatically pull up all relevant information when they recognize an employee's voice. So देखो, workplace पे कितना benefit हो रहा. If you're able to identify an individual or authenticate him or her in a foolproof manner without any sort of ambiguity, then it can really help a lot at the workplace. और उसमें बहुत सारी ऐसी activities को आप stop कर सकते हो from taking place. I would say ill intentions or intentions or bad intentions, where people might like to take advantage of a situation, such as theft of data, or maybe marking their attendance and somebody else's as well when they are not there. So we know that passwords and IDs and all these things can be told to people, they can be guessed, but physical features of yourself or of a human being cannot be forged or replicated. कुछ cases में हो सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके भी फिर solutions हैं. So that is what makes it very, very, very authentic. Now there are various types of biometrics. As I told you that the technology has improved many folds over the years. Something which started off at a very limited scale has now great diversification to it. So let's have a look at it. A biometric identifier is one that is related to intrinsic human characteristics. Intrinsic ka matlab hai internal, that something that belongs to you. They fall roughly into two categories: physical identifiers and behavioral identifiers. So this behavioral aspect has also been added to the physical identifiers now. To begin with, this behavioral identifiers, there was no concept of this. Okay, but now there's an improvement, and on top of these physical identifiers, the behavioral aspects of a human being have also been made part of biometric recognition or biometric systems. Fingerprints, probably the most common and something that we can probably relate to the most easily. Fingerprint scanners have become very important in recent years, or essential in recent years, due to their widespread deployment on smartphones. Any device that can be touched, such as a phone screen, a computer mouse or touchpad, or a door panel, has potential to become an easy and convenient fingerprint scanner. We are using fingerprint scanning at so many different places. We are using them at workplace to mark our attendance and the time in and time out. We are using these, to access various parts of the office, such as if certain parts of the office are only meant for certain employees to go in, and everybody is not allowed in there, then of course you can make use of there as well. We can use fingerprint recognition at banks as well, when we have to withdraw cash as well, with more advanced ATMs and all, where instead of a PIN, it is a case of a fingerprint recognition. So basically, there are a lot of areas. Phones these days, of course, are fitted with this kind of a feature. So quite a few areas where this kind of a biometric method is used to authenticate people. Photo and video. If a device is equipped with a camera, it can easily be used for authentication. Facial recognition and retinal scans are two common approaches. So we know that phones these days work very well with facial recognition or even retinal scans. So this feature is embedded in some modern day phones that they allow you to access the device by your face recognition. आप लोगों ने नोटिस किया होगा कि से फॉर इंस्टेंस अगर किसी के पास आईफोन है, तो जब आप इनिशियली अपनी वो करते हो प्रोफाइलिंग, मैंने आईफोन पे नोटिस किया ज़्यादा, मैंने और किसी पे इतना नहीं किया, इसीलिए मैं इसकी एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. आप ये ना समझें कि मैं कोई आई एम इन फेवर ऑफ आईफोन और समथिंग, बट just an example that I'm giving you it because I've experienced it myself. So जब आप जब आप initially data capture कर रहे होते हो, उसको हम कहते हैं this process of recording information about your physical characteristics. First up is known as profiling. The term that is used is profiling. Okay, so अब जो profiling कर रहे होते हो, face profiling, so the phone instructs you to act differently. Kabhi, you have to keep your face straight and then down and then up and then turn to the right, turn to the left. What it is actually trying to do is, it is trying to make it convenient for you to unlock your phone, even if you are holding your phone at different angles and not exactly in front of you. So when it does that profiling from the sides of your face, from the top, from the bottom, maybe different angles and stuff, what it is trying to do is, it is just trying to have more data to find a match with, okay, whenever the user wants to unlock through facial recognition. तो जब उसके पास इतना प्रोफाइलिंग का डेटा पड़ा हुआ है, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं से मैच मिल जाता है उसको. पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था, पहले प्रोफाइलिंग ऐसी नहीं होती थी. The profiling used to be very rigid and strict, and that is why these biometric recognition systems sometimes faced failures, or people found it difficult to really get themselves authenticated with these systems. But this is a problem of the past now. The way the profiling is done now is called dynamic profiling as well. Okay, where a scan is done from multiple angles. Okay, so if it is a case of fingers, it would be multiple scans of the thumb from different angles, so that it has more profiling data to find a match with. So makes it easy to authenticate people now. Voice-based digital assistants and telephone-based service portals are already using voice recognition to identify users and authenticate customers. Well, who can tell me the difference between, Balki, I think I should rephrase my question. Is there a difference between voice recognition and speech recognition? Anyone? Or are they the same? Sadan Ahmed and Isha Iman, you need to turn on your cameras. Okay, yes, yes, Huzafa.
सिर्फ वॉइस रिकग्निशन आपकी मतलब आवाज़ पहचानता है और स्पीच रिकग्निशन सिर्फ आप मतलब बोलते हो कर रहे हैं जैसे सीरी और एलेक्सा. Siri or Alexa is speech recognition and voice recognition is a type of biometric verification.
Okay, that was a good try. But can you really differentiate between the two? I mean, you have given examples of speech recognition, but what is the difference really between the two? Important to understand the difference, by the way. So, Huzaifa, you can think about it, no problem. Let's ask some more people who are raising their hands. Yes, Faria.
I think the difference between speech recognition and voice recognition is that in speech recognition, you have to like have a specific phrase and it can be said by anyone and that will be recognized. It has to be what has to be said, right? Like Josefa said, like you say Alexa or Siri, like that's a specific thing that you have to say, but it can be said by anyone and recognized as that one command. Voice recognition is the recognition of your specific voice. So it can only be recognized if it's you speaking and not somebody else.
Not bad, good. Okay. So a person in our class who seems to be very tech savvy is Sheikh Abu Bakr. Yes, Abu Bakr. What do you have to say about this?
सर वो फाया ने बोल दिया पॉइंट मैं सेम एग्जैक्ट यही पॉइंट था मेरा.
But I would like to hear it in your voice.
So basically
okay, yeah.
So basically voice recognition में आप अपनी आवाज जो आपकी वैलिडेशन लगी होती है जिसके ऊपर बेसिकली वो यूज हो सकती है और दूसरा जो दूसरी होती है उसमें ये है कि कोई भी बोल सकता है बेसिकली वो आपकी कमांड को फॉलो करती है.
Okay, all right. Acha, so, well, what is the difference really? In the simplest of terms, voice recognition is identifying how you speak, the tone, the pitch of your voice. It's a physical characteristic of yours. The tone of my voice is different from Abu Bakr's or from anybody else's. And same is the case with all of us who are sitting in this class. When we speak, the tone is different. The way we speak is different. There's a pattern about it. This is voice recognition. Speech recognition is recognition of the spoken words, the words that you're speaking. What word did I speak? Did I say yes? Did I say no? Did I say information technology? Did I say Google Classroom? What is the word that I'm speaking? It is the recognition of the spoken word to identify the word being spoken so that it can be identified. Like some examples that you people gave, जैसे Alexa की example आप दे रहे थे, या we can talk about, we can take the example of Google Assist. Okay, so when you use these systems, your commands are being identified in terms of the words so that whatever it is that you're trying to say can be understood as an instruction. Okay, and then it can be executed by the device. Like we have some modern day devices that have Google Assist built into them, like modern day televisions as well. You can speak with the television and you can give your command. So if it is a smart, it has to be a smart TV to be able to do that. So it recognizes your speech basically. So when it comes to people who are physically challenged, okay, have some sort of a disability where they cannot use their hands to give inputs to the computer, their best source to communicate with the computer, or their best form of communicating with the computer, is actually voice and speech recognition. आप लोग कभी try करो, एक चीज try करना कि do you know something? I don't know if you know about it or not. Even you can use the speech recognition feature of Microsoft Word. Try it out sometime. थोड़ा सा इसको research करो, बड़ा simple है, उसको activate करना पड़ता है. But if you activate it, you can sit in front of the computer, open up your Microsoft Word, and start dictating it. Whatever you dictate to it, it is going to take it as speech, and it is going to type out in front of you whatever it is that you're speaking in. It is quite accurate actually. थोड़े से उसमें issues हैं, issues in the sense के अगर आप format करना चाहते हो, punctuation के issues आ सकते हैं. But as far as whatever it is that you are speaking, recognizing that is concerned, it's pretty accurate at that. So you can try it out sometime. So this is what the main difference is. So particularly important or useful for people who just cannot operate the computer in any other way but only by using their voice commands, comes in very handy. So speech recognition ज़्यादा technical भी है. इसलिए technical है because उसमें the system has to really get used to how you speak and to recognize words, whatever it is that you're speaking. अब आप देखें, ये पता है किस पे depend करता है? ये depend करता है आपके dialects पे, accents पे, which part of the world that you're living in, how do you speak? So like when we speak English here in Pakistan, our accent is close to the American accent. Okay, we know that British accent is very different from this. Australian accent is again different from British and American. वो एक अपना ही कोई accent है. Indians बोलते हैं वो थोड़ा different ही बोलते हैं. अच्छा बांग्लादेशी को कभी सुनो English बोलते हुए, तो आप लोगों को अंदाजा होगा कि सारे लोग बड़े different तरीके से pronunciation करते हैं. So this system has to have, the speech recognition system has to have, what are known as speech recognition dictionaries in them, complete dictionaries of words, and then it is able to search on those dictionaries and then find the closest match to the word spoken if it is not able to identify. So what is the closest match found? It picks up that word and shows it to you. कभी अगर आप command करो ना, मैं वैसे आपको एक एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ क्योंकि हम ये टॉपिक कर रहे हैं. मेरे घर में जो टीवी है उस पर स्पीच रिकग्निशन है, वो गूगल असिस्ट है. तो उसमें आप नोट करें कि जब आप बोलते हैं ना, तो वो क्या करता है कि इट मिस टाइप्स in first place and it automatically corrects it very quickly. What is an indication of that? What is this an indication of? That it is constantly searching the inbuilt dictionaries. So if it did understand a word incorrectly in first place and it is still trying to find a match, the closest match with the word spoken, it in turn eventually corrects it and gets it right when it types it out and displays it on the screen. So these systems have improved over a period of time. The accuracy has improved. Earlier on, आपको पता है इनमें बड़ी limitations होती थी इन systems. Even voice recognition systems were very were very limited in their recognition ability. I don't know if you people have used the voice dialing feature on your phones. How many of you just raise your hands to let me know if you have used voice dialing? Okay, at least one, we have somebody. कभी करके तो देखें, it's there, not very difficult to activate, by the way. And voice dialing is what? You actually dial any of your contacts, okay, by speaking out the name by which you have saved the contact, rather than selecting it from the contacts list or maybe punching in the contact number to dial up a person. आप सिर्फ उसका नाम बोलो and the phone dials the number of the person or the individual. So here again, since I have experienced it in the past, it used to be a little limited in understanding or recognizing the voice. तो आपको करना क्या पड़ता था कि आपको उसकी प्रोफाइलिंग पहले आपको करनी पड़ती थी. प्रोफाइलिंग का मतलब ये है कि anybody's number that you would like to put on voice dialing, you would have to first pronounce their name to save it or to link it with voice dialing. अच्छा, अब होगा क्या कि जब उसने प्रोफाइलिंग कर ली, आपने जैसे नाम प्रोनाउंस किया और उसने उसको सेव कर लिया अपनी अपने मेमोरी में, नेक्स्ट टाइम अराउंड जब आप उसको यूज करोगे ना उस नंबर को डायल करने के लिए, तो यू विल हैव टू बी वेरी श्योर दैट यू प्रोनाउंस द नेम more or less the same way as you did it when you were profiling it. अगर आप उस तरह से नहीं बोलोगे ना नाम, तो वो रिकग्नाइज नहीं करेगा. अब वो थोड़ा सा चेंज बेहतर हो गया पहले से, बट ये लिमिटेशन थोड़ी सी पहले ज्यादा थी, अब थोड़ी कम है. बट दिस वॉइस डायलिंग is particularly voice recognition. All right. Okay. Abu Bakr, you had a question. You wanted to say something? Abu Bakr, did you want to say something further? I saw your hand raised in between.
ऐसे मैंने सिर्फ वो एक इजी डेफिनेशन इसकी बतानी थी, ये कि स्पीच रिकग्निशन इज बेसिकली द कीवर्ड्स जो आपने बोलने हैं, और वॉइस रिकग्निशन होती है द पर्सन सेइंग दोज कीवर्ड्स, मतलब जो आवाज है उसकी बेसिकली.
Exactly. बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है. That's true. Okay. So let's continue. So well, there is voice based. We have spoken about this. Signature. Now you might be wondering, what is signature doing here in biometrics? So we'll just get to know in a bit what this is all about. Digital signature scanners are already in widespread use at retail checkouts and in banks, and are a good choice for situations where users and customers are already expecting to have to sign their names. Well, when you put your signature, there's a certain pattern that you follow when you sign. All right. Or there's a certain flow about how you do your signature. There are systems that actually notice that as well, or they're able to do a profiling of that as well, that how do you sign? What is the position of your hand? How do you hold the pen in your hand? What is the position of your fingers? And what's really the flow of your hand when you put your signature? So this is more of a behavioral aspect, really. क्योंकि ये क्या है, आपका जो फ्लो है ना, वो एक behavioral aspect है. आप कैसे एक पेन को होल्ड करते हो, वो एक behavioral aspect है. वो आपके physical being की कोई characteristic नहीं है. It is more of a pattern or a behavior that is being studied, and based on that, a match is, tried to find. I mean, actually it is tried that a match is found. So a behavioral aspect. So if I put my signature, and I have been using the signature for quite some time, I would have developed a certain flow. तो जब मैं अपना signature करूंगा, तो how do I hold the pen? What is the position of my hand? What's the flow that I follow? Will be very unique to my personality. So if I ask Huzaifa, okay, to replicate my signature, he would never do it the same way as I do. So this behavioral pattern is recorded by the system. Okay, so it says that there are special scanners that scan this behavior, and then they try to find a match with this kind of a behavioral aspect of you. And then if a match is found, then this means that it is the right individual who is, putting in the signature, not somebody in his place, somebody else who is trying to produce the signature. क्योंकि कोई और करेगा, वो आपके signature को तो शायद सही replicate कर ले, okay, लेकिन उसका जो style होगा वो आपसे match नहीं करेगा. That is very unique to your behavior. DNA. Today, DNA scans are used primarily in law enforcement to identify to identify suspects, and in movies. In practice, DNA sequencing has been too slow for widespread use. This is starting to change. So yes, we know that DNA profiling has become very much a reality now, and we keep on hearing about this. आप अपनी local news पे भी सुनते हैं ये बात, where when they have to apprehend criminals, okay, other than the fact that they might use other means that would lead them to the criminal, which are more outdated and old-fashioned, DNA profiling can really help. And DNA profiling is something that just cannot be faked. Again, और चीजें fake हो सकती हैं. DNA profiling कैसे fake करोगे? Fingerprints हैं, और चीजें हैं. So, I mean, the thing is that these things really help these days. Okay, behavioral identifiers are a newer approach and are typically being used in conjunction with another method because of low reliability. However, as technology improves, these behavioral identifiers may increase in prominence. Unlike physical identifiers, which are limited to a certain fixed set of human characteristics, the only limits to behavioral identifiers is the human imagination. So वो कहते हैं कि जो behavioral aspects है ना, उनमें बहुत ज़्यादा एक a wide scale set of behavioral aspects can be used. जिसमें फिर जैसे अभी हमने एक example देखी of basically putting in a signature and all, right? So basically there could be more aspects to it that could become part of biometrics in future to come. Okay. Today, this approach is often used to distinguish between humans and robots that can help a company filter out spam and detect attempts to brute force a login and password. As technology improves, the systems are likely to get better at accurately identifying individuals, but less effective at distinguishing between humans and robots. Here are some common approaches. Typing patterns. Everybody has a different typing style, the speed at which they type, the length of time it takes to go from one letter to another, the degree of impact on the keyboard, all behavioral. Okay, my typing technique will be different from another individual's. My speed, my way of moving from one letter to the other, all that has been described here. So all behavioral. Physical movements. The way that someone walks is unique to an individual and can be used to authenticate employees in a building or as a secondary layer of authentication for particularly sensitive locations. How you walk is also different. That is also a behavioral aspect of you. आपने कभी notice किया अगर आप इन चीजों को थोड़ा सा real life से relate करो तो have you ever noticed that you actually get familiar with certain behavioral aspects of people when you constantly look at them? Okay, आपने notice किया होगा अक्सर आप teachers को notice करते होगे. How does a teacher gesture in class? Unique to every teacher. कोई कुछ करता है, कोई किस तरह से gesturing करता है. लेकिन आप अगर किसी open space में हैं and from a distance you see somebody walking at you, आप बहुत clearly identify नहीं कर पा रहे. लेकिन if it is any of your parents or your siblings, आपको पता है कि how do they look like when they walk. So if some gentleman is approaching you from a distance and you're expecting that your dad is going to arrive, okay, he's coming from somewhere, तो आप दूर से देख के बता सकते हैं if it is your dad or not, because आप उस वक्त face भी अगर सही नजर नहीं आ रहा ना, आप वो जो एक walking का style है ना, उससे judge कर सकते हो. I hope that you are able to relate to this because I can relate to it. I'm sure all of you can. ठीक है, मैं अगर अपनी किसी स्टूडेंट को, अक्सर मुझे स्टूडेंट्स कहते हैं सर आपको कैसे पता चलता है कि हम कैंपस पे थे, तो हमने तो आपको नहीं देखा, तो आपको कैसे पता चला कि आई वाज ऑन कैंपस. तो मैं उनको अक्सर कहता हूँ कि बेटा बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं जो आपकी एक जो फिजिकल बीइंग है ना उसको आइडेंटिफाई करती हैं. सो अगर मैं हुज़ैफा को चलते हुए देखूंगा तो मुझे थोड़ा सा आइडिया होगा कि ये हुज़ैफा है. मुझे उसके एक जनरल अपीयरेंस मुझे हुज़ैफा की पता है. मुझे पता है हाउ ही वॉक्स, हाउ ही अपीयर्स टू बी. सो ऐसे मैं हुज़ैफा की एग्जांपल काफी ज्यादा देता हूँ, मुझे हालांकि किसी और का भी नाम लेना चाहिए. ओके, सो एनीवे, सो आई मीन द थिंग, आई होप यू आर एबल टू रिलेट टू दिस. सो this is how you walk could also be a very important behavioral aspect of you, which can be actually judged. further up, let's have a look at navigation patterns. Now, how different is this? Mouse movements and finger movements on trackpads or touch sensitive screens are unique to individuals and relatively easy to detect with software, no additional hardware required. Software आपके behavioral patterns को note कर सकता है, navigation patterns को. How do you navigate? Okay, navigate between screens. How do you use the mouse? How the pointer moves on the screen when you use a mouse? How do you use a trackpad such as a touchpad on your computer screen? So look where technology is going. Look, the kind of diversity is being added to biometrics with this behavioral aspect that has been added to biometrics. All right. So this is, I think, telling you a totally different dimension of what biometrics is all about, other than the conventionals, which is fingerprint and face recognition and retina scan and so on and so forth. These are traditional. The behavioral aspect is a newly added thing, and you could see that there is no limit to it, to how they can sort of make use of it when it comes to identifying individuals. Lastly, we even have engagement patterns. Now, what is this all about? So we all interact with technology in different ways. How we open and use apps, how low we allow our battery to get, the locations and times of the day we are most likely to use our devices, the way we navigate websites, how we tilt our phones when we hold them, how or even how often we check our social media accounts are all potentially unique behavioral characteristics. The behavior patterns can be used to distinguish people from bots until bots get better at imitating humans. So do you see this? Do you see where the technology is going really? Your engagement patterns can even be recorded and noted and a pattern established. Because even your engagement patterns will be unique to you. हम उसको realize consciously करें ना करें, हम subconsciously बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें कर रहे होते हैं which are a part of our behavior. Okay, and we do those things similarly or in the same way day in and day out every single day to actually formulate a pattern out of it. So if there is a mechanism that can do that, then that would be something unique to us. So imagine the kind of physical aspects or characteristics of our being that can be used to identify us uniquely. By the way, I think it is a little scary as well if I look at it, कि इतना कुछ आपके बारे में आजकल टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो अगर चाहें तो आप वो सेंस कर सकती है और उससे लर्न कर सकती है. Kind of scary as well, because this is too much what should I say, invasion of you. Technology noticing so many things about you. If it is allowed to, if it is made to, then these possibilities are all there. That's what the thing is. All right. So, well, we are almost approaching the end of our class. So I'm going to give you a small little assignment, which is not a very difficult one. So what I want you people to do is to go over these points that highlight how reliable or authentic biometric authentication is. Which one is more reliable, which is not as reliable, what is, this draws out a comparison. What are the privacy risks of biometric authentication? I think I just briefly touched upon this point right now, just a minute ago, probably, where I was saying that how invasive this is becoming. बिल्कुल ऐसा लग रहा है टेक्नोलॉजी आपको इन्वेड कर रही है, आपकी प्राइवेसी को. So ऐसे issues भी हैं कि आप टेक्नोलॉजी को कितना इन्वेसिव करना चाहते हैं. The control is in your hands. So maybe everybody does not feel very comfortable with technology being so invasive that they know that technology knows so much about you. You might not like it, and there are people that do not like it. एक खास हद तक अगर एक चीज हो तो ठीक है, लेकिन उसके अगर beyond जाएगी तो it might make anybody uncomfortable. All right, so उसके कुछ points हैं. I would like you to go over these and take a note of it. If there is any point that you feel needs further explanation or is not understood, you can always highlight it or mark it up, and you can discuss it with me in the next class.